So I started sailing at the age of 7. I think one of the biggest benefits of sailing, it teaches you at a very young age the difference between strategy and tactics. And as I got older, I started realizing that these skills I learned actually are carbon copy into business. When you're young, you're so naive because you think you know it all. We all think that we know what we're saying. 9H is, at face value, we are a creative design agency. Behind all of that is the technology. And generally, most problems are solved through design thinking, through technology. Hi, my name's Benji Borg, and I'm CEO and Director at 9H Capital PLC. So I started sailing at the age of 7. I think one of the biggest benefits of sailing is you very quickly realize that kids have the ability to be completely let go from their parents. Any other sport, the parents are still very close to them. It teaches you at a very young age the difference between strategy and tactics. Is there current? Is there wind? And then you start breaking it down. And as I got older, I started realizing that these skills I learned actually are carbon copy into business. When you're young, you're so naive because you think you know it all. I think if you just start off every conversation saying, actually, I'm full of bullshit, then you get a long way. You think that your energy and the pace that you want to do things is the best way. And if people are not aligned to you, they're not good. The reality is that you're the problem, not them. Okay, yes, you live and you learn. It's your job as a leader to adapt and change and work with different people. If you have a very clear North Star of where you want to get to, you need people to get there. Nine H is, at face value, we are a creative design agency. What we are providing to our clients is creative thinking, branding, design, experience design. Behind all of that is the technology. Everything that comes out of a brainstorming session. And generally, most problems are solved through design thinking, through technology. And this evolved over time through us really understanding and listening to our customers in seeing that they're stuck with so many problems on a day-to-day basis that the human capital side of the business cannot solve. As businesses continue to grow and scale, they need to scale sustainably. And to do that, you need to have a very good tech base within your organization. The ability for us to have the largest impact on our clients is to be part of organizations which are scaling. Because with ambitious growth targets comes the need to fix, solve, and be creative in the way they're thinking. We can creatively come up with solutions to their problems. 9H's growth journey started off around 6-7 years ago, and that's why we listed ANCHOVY, the previous agency had listed on the prospects on the stock exchange, and we had taken the bond to facilitate growth outside of Malta. That journey started off with us trying to open up in Amsterdam, trying to open up in Italy, trying to open up in Dubai. A few years ago, we started really getting traction in Dubai, and then COVID hit, and there was obviously a big change. And that big change was actually a benefit to us because within the Arab culture, it's all about meetings, coffees, in person. And because you're opening up an office overseas, it's much harder to do that. And everything shifted online. And we saw a big opportunity in Saudi because we already had a very big client there. And we opened up in Saudi. And now that is our growth market. Q1 this year was the first time we surpassed over 50% of our revenue coming in from Saudi, with still growth margins happening in Malta. So obviously as we continue growing. And I think the model that we're adopting is how do we have sales offices and localize our expertise while still having a kitchen within Europe. So we've been around for the past 12 years now. And I think that the last 10 years was us being very naive in understanding what growth really is about. And we didn't really have the right skill sets to be able to achieve the growth that we wanted to. So even when we started off our journey of going international 6-7 years ago, that was way too early. I feel that a lot of people are in such a rush to get to the end goal, when the end goal is achieved over time. And if you rush it too much, it's not sustainable, it's somewhere it's gonna crack. And generally, it's either gonna crack the business or it's gonna crack the people leading that business. over the last 2 years, we've worked very hard to have the business not founder-led. We've brought on key individuals, which has allowed us to run the business in a way that it's sustainable. I don't need to be involved in the day-to-day, nor do the other founders need to be involved in the day-to-day. Obviously, to do this and to achieve this, it costs money because you need to hire the right people. And it also comes with a mentality shift, because one day you're doing everything and you're part of everything. Then being completely cut off. Other people are doing it better than you, so you get a sense of, my ego's bruised, because how did this guy come and solve what I've been trying to solve for the past 6 years? And then you start realizing, hey, I wasn't actually very good at that. And I think that comes from hiring the right people, which obviously have the right experience, but actually hiring the right person for the right job at the right time. I always say it, when I'm in an interview, they're interviewing me more than I'm interviewing them, because it's their choice to be part of this journey and their career to be part of us. Only when you have this really bright star, that then you can start working backwards from it. One of the oldest companies in the world, which have, I think, the most brilliant North Star, Lego. So Lego have been, in my opinion, around for so many years because it's the purest definition of a strategy. You buy a box and straight away in front of the box, you can see what the end result's gonna look like. When you open the box, that end result is broken down into bags, which is your goals. How do I achieve that picture through these bags? And then when you open up the instructions, it's telling you step by step how to achieve those goals, which achieves the North Star. And when you think of it, that's like the brilliant strategy for a business. But when you put that into practice, it becomes much harder because there are people behind it, there are egos behind it, this, that, and it's very hard to remain on that course of, okay, but let's go back to the front cover of this Lego box. The first job I had was, let's create that picture and create the pieces inside it that we can achieve that picture. And now once that has been set up or is in process of being set up, I find myself on a day-to-day basis showing that picture more often or not. And sometimes I even have to reconvince myself, is that the right picture? We're at that stage now where the picture is very bright. We know exactly where we want to go and we're attracting the right talent because top talent want to see that picture. If I know where I'm going and I know what I need to get there, and I'm interviewing you because I need you to get me there, if you're not asking me what the picture is, from the get-go, you're the wrong person for that picture. There are so many things we do on a day-to-day basis which removes us from strategic thinking, growth. If you can, on a day-to-day basis, even eliminate 2 hours of any small task that could be done through AI or could be processed, mapped, and then automated, that's in reality either giving you 2 hours more in your day to strategically think about growth, or you leave the office earlier and go enjoy family and friends. I mean, for a designer to route out a logo and slap it onto a photo and to superimpose it on a plane would take you 2-3 hours. I mean, that's done now in 2 minutes. So in reality, that 2 hours, what we're doing is we're adding more value to the client. So they're coming up with better designs, they're coming up with better concepts, that we're giving the clients much more than what they used to get for the same amount of money. We're also seeing it in our finance department. Instead of spending all your time going through the small creditors which are outstanding, there are tools nowadays which we use which automatically identify those credits, identify who they need to email, and the system itself starts escalating the emails and starts CCing different people in those emails all on its own, which allows our finance team to focus on those top 20% outstanding bills, which generally cover the 80% of your costs, which means that you're reducing your credit terms. So I think if you take the 80-20 rule, and if humans spend all their time on the 20%, and AI and automation spends all its time on the 80%, the improvements would be exponential. Doing an acquisition or a merger without any real purpose behind it is destined to fail. And having an acquisition without a very strong base company, which without the acquisitions is growing healthily each year, 10-20%, is also, I believe, not the right setup. What we're trying to achieve is, how do we have the core business achieving 15-20% growth year on year, so that when you load it up with new clients and new portfolios, the machine keeps on churning out that 20% growth. The acquisition side is more us, how do we accelerate the acquisition of gold clients? So how do you acquire an agency which is pure creative, pure strategy, pure PR, take their clients, and then over time convert that business into tech? We started to shift into the products. The first product we've affiliated with is HubSpot. I think HubSpot is the fastest growing CRM in the world for the small to medium-sized businesses. And what we're doing is we're going in and doing what we always did, which was the scoping, the understanding, the process mapping, but we're connecting all of that into a already built machine, which with our expertise in customization and integrations, we are creating what I believe to be the perfect ecosystem for the clients. The business can continue using this platform for many years to come, and businesses today need these technologies to scale. You cannot scale a business nowadays over 50 people without a true heartbeat of technology.